Assalamu alaikum and welcome back from the break. Our next guest joining us on the sofa is Dr Rizwhan Suleiman, a doctor of chiropractic medicine, a father of 5 and a huge advocate of Islamic health philosophy.
Originally from Wales, Rizwhan teaches both nationally and internationally as part of the Institute of Clinically Applied Hijama Therapy, which is an organisation that has helped to teach hijama all over the world.
He also runs a number of clinical practices in England and Wales as well as in India and has over 10 years of experience treating over 15,000 patients to date.
He is here with us today to tell us all about hijama and traditional Islamic medicine. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How's it going?
Alhamdulillah, very well, thank you.
Okay, before we begin this discussion, can you please tell me what chiropractism is?
Being a chiropractor.
What does it mean to be a chiropractor, Rizwhan?
Okay. Well, the practice of chiropractic is it's a statutory regulated profession in the UK, and we deal basically with musculoskeletal problems, namely that of the spine and the nervous system. So to put it in simple terms, it's a back doctor.
A back doctor.
Okay.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Back doctor, when you put it simply like that.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're a real advocate for the, you know, Islamic medicine. Can you explain maybe to the viewers at home what this means?
Okay, so in terms of Islamic medicine, and you know, what we derive from it is a model of health that is influenced by Islam effectively. So a lot of people will have, you know, their own concepts or ideas of what medicine is, and alhamdulillah, through the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and through Islam, we have certain kind of guidance around that. And Islamic health philosophy itself kind of it derives directly from the Quran and Sunnah. So there are some things in relation to what we would understand as Muslims in relation to our health and the practice of healthcare that are kind of different to that which we would know in the conventional sense. So that's kind of the root of what Islamic health philosophy is. And in terms of the meanings of it, it's really about the value of health. You know, in Islam, you know, we've been taught that the second thing most valuable to a Muslim after their iman is their health. And there are quite a few things that are tied around a lot of the concepts within our religion that teach us sometimes different concepts to that we know in conventional medicine, and that some of us who are health professionals ourselves may have been taught in university or during our education.
Yeah, okay. That's really interesting. Some Islamic health practices is something that I know with myself growing up, I wasn't really exposed to any of the practices of the Sunnah, and it was only ever like if we got sick, Mum would just be like, right, take a paracetamol, have some milk, and...
Exactly, or just go to the doctor.
I know,
yeah,
right?
I don't think I've ever had anything like Islamic,
yeah.
like, you know, health medicine-wise.
Yeah. Right, we'll be speaking to Rizwhan very shortly, but something we are moving on to very quickly is leadership development. Now, leadership development is a buzz term that so many places of work are encouraging or promoting in this day of age. Now, in today's Life Lessons with Henrietta, we explore what, in Henrietta's opinion, it means to be a true leader. Let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Henrietta Sovati and I am a professional and personal coach. Today in Life Lessons with Henrietta, we will be talking about following your heart, following your dreams. What does it really mean to follow the heart? The very word courage, because it takes a lot of courage, comes from the French word of cœur, and the heart and courage, they are connected, they live together. Fear, on the other hand, lives in the head. So for me, following the dream, the first step to follow the dream is to understand what is it that your heart is really asking you to do. What is your passion? What is the thing that gets you out of bed every single morning? So the first sign of you not truly living from your heart is that you're not feeling content. You're not excited about going to work. You are not excited about the project that you are doing. I think it's really important for us to understand that we all have a mission and we have a purpose why we are here. And those dreams from the heart are actually the foundations of our mission and our purpose. When you follow your heart, you will also become really skilled at questioning yourself and double guessing and continuously re-evaluating what you are doing, how you are doing. So it is a huge field and an amazing opportunity to learn about having conversations with yourself, continuously evaluating how you're doing. Is it still what I want to do, or do I want to change direction? So it has become an internal tool. And I think most of my clients, even today, they tell me that whenever they are doing something, they will remember some of the questions that I asked them, and they reevaluate. Sometimes they move directions, sometimes they don't. But it's a continuous internal conversation that you are having with yourself. And when you follow your heart, you will really be asked to have a very rigorous process about understanding yourself, understanding your position, where you are heading. Is it still where you want to go, or you want to change directions? When you follow your heart, you will fail over and over again. And that's the amazing thing about following the heart, because just as you walk along, you think things are going well and you're flowing with the current, suddenly something will come, you have to step up, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's very difficult. But if you haven't even tried, you haven't lived. If you haven't failed, you haven't lived. So for me, I learned, and I've seen so many of my clients, to learn how to live with the idea of failure. Failure is always going to be part of the process, but our perception of failure is what's going to make a difference. Without failure, you will never grow, you will never stretch yourself, you will never clarify or evaluate what is truly important. Failure has never been my friend, and I don't think anybody really likes failure, but there is a way to get more natural and comfortable with failure if we can just accept that it's such a natural process. Somehow our culture, from very young age actually, we are being schooled and skilled and taught that failure is a bad thing. If you pass an exam, it's great. If you fail, it's awful. So we learn this very early on in our life, that failure is a bad thing. Whereas coaching has taught me that failure is actually the way to stretch, the way to grow, the way to become a leader. It's the way to be able to show that I'm human, because I make mistakes, I fail, and I continuously do so. I truly believe that people who follow their heart, they understand themselves better, they know the world, they know their place, they are more confident, and they are laying a very strong foundation for their true leadership and charisma. I believe that people who know what is the passion that is driving them, they are healthier in their approach to relationships, they can work with teams much better, they are much more comfortable in their own skin, they are able to lead, inspire people, instead of leading from a bureaucratic place and from an autocratic place. They are able to inspire and connect, not just with the project itself, but they are building teams, they are building movements. So they are able to lead from the core of their being and change the world.
Wow, what a comprehensive discussion on what it means to be a true leader from our coach, Henrietta. Now, we are still joined in the studio by Rizwhan. Before the break, before Henrietta's clip, we were discussing about different forms of Islamic health. And I was about to ask you, could you please give me some examples of particular types of Islamic health practices?
So obviously medicine's quite a wide range, and we're not limited in Islam to kind of just things, for example, that were in the Quran and Sunnah. But some of those that are present are the use of herbs, the use of specific dietary foods, the use of fasting itself. There's the concept of ruqya, and the use of the Quran as a shifa, which is specifically mentioned within the Quran. And there's also the use of other techniques, things such as hijama. And then generally, when we're talking about kind of health philosophy and the general concept, the concept of preserving your health in general. And that goes down to everything from using a miswak and brushing your teeth to making wudu and keeping yourself pure.
And what's the importance of the Islamic health philosophy?
So I I personally have a very kind of strong passion about making sure that people consider their philosophy and kind of think about it, because philosophy underpins pretty much everything that we do. We may not know it, but the reason why we have our purpose in life as Muslims really is because we have a philosophy, and that philosophy is, you know, governed by our beliefs and our values and so forth. So your philosophy always dictates your purpose, and your purpose then affects your psychology and what you think, and you know it's the reason why you do everything, and therefore it affects your actions, and then obviously your actions then determine kind of your success in life or that specific topic in general. So when it comes to health, the same thing applies. So when you have the philosophy, your health philosophy, if at the foundations of your health beliefs there's some incorrect understandings or values, for example, when you move forward to your purpose in terms of your health, your psychology and the way you think about your health, and then what you eventually do with your health, that's an extremely important thing which governs effectively the result. So what I say when I'm managing patients and when I'm dealing with people is that I really need to work from the core. There's no point in telling someone, for example, to pray salah when they don't understand the purpose or the reason why. You may have that with your children where you say, okay, it's time to pray, but if they don't understand why they're praying, the moment you're not here, they're not going to be doing it.
That's
Exactly.
definitely, I think it's so important to remember that, and it's been really interesting, the points that you've raised. But we'll be discussing more of this after the break with Rizwhan. So grab yourselves a cup of tea and join us shortly. We'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.